Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, good whatever time of the day it is in your particular part of the world. I'm Melanie and today's pick a card reading is going to be entitled What are your star qualities? It's a hype you up reading really. It's about how you shine out to others, what attracts people to you, what qualities do you have that people admire in you. This could be any kind of people, so it could be lovers, friends, family, work colleagues, people in the street, anyone. I've chosen the star card from 3 different decks, and then 6 more, I think, cards from that deck. So I've no idea what will come up and what people will see that they find attractive about you. The first star card, we're going to have problems with the ring light already, is this star from my newest deck, the Tarot Apocalypse. The second star card is this one from the Muse Tarot, and the third star card is this star from the Good Tarot. So choose the star that you, or stars that you are most attracted to, and I will meet you in your reading. Nice and quick. Hello, pile number 1. I think we're about 148. If you chose this star, then this is your reading. Before I begin, I just want to make a quick, I don't know the word, not announcement, not plea, that's wrong. Just a quick thing about subscribing. I do get data from YouTube and I seem to be getting more views from non-subscribed people than subscribed people. So if you do watch regularly, and I always get lots of comments about how much people enjoy the readings, and you're not subscribed, please do. It really does help. I'm not very techie, but it really does help with, I don't even know what the right word is, with the analytics somehow, the way YouTube works and processes things. So, you know, the more subscribers a site gets, the more likes, the more comments, the more shares, algorithms, that's the word I'm looking for, the more YouTube will flash this up to other potential viewers. It costs absolutely nothing to subscribe to YouTube, and I see it as a very fair exchange of energies, and a way of saying, of demonstrating really sort of your thanks for the reading. Okay, enough waffle, let's get on, Melanie. The star card that you chose, so it's from my newest deck. It's quite a complicated deck, but I've decided to take the stress away from trying to learn the book meaning and just to read intuitively. So the first thing I noticed is this particular star is in the middle of a very stormy sea. She's in the peak of a wave and we can see a boat being tossed around. Now, I did look quickly in the book, but this book has about 4 pages and goes into really great detail on the person or god, goddess depicted here. So I didn't want to, just before a reading, muddle my head too much about who the person was. But this particular star is the Stella Maris, so Star of the Sea, which fits because I was picking up, I noticed immediately the boat and the rough sea. So there's something about you being a guiding light to people, a beacon, something very safe, very reassuring about you. You are the kind of person one of your star qualities that attracts people to you and makes you shine is that people see you as very supportive, helpful, a guiding light, a beacon, someone that they can turn to in times of trouble. And it's really funny that I should have said that, because I did see in the book that somehow she's linked to the Virgin Mary. So turn to in times of trouble, the Beatles song Let It Be came to mind there, which is also linked to Mother Mary. Yeah, calming the seas. You might be a very good person in an argument. Somebody people see as an arbitrator, somebody who's fair, somebody who can pour oil on troubled waters. So this could be people in your family. It could be a quality that people value in you at work. You could be a counsellor. You could be somebody who mediates. You could be regarded by your bosses as somebody who has a calming influence on a team when things get heated. Okay, let's have a look at your other star qualities. Okay, pile number 1. Just general overview. A quick general overview. I think people see you as quite sexually alluring. You've got the Prince of Cups and the Prince of Wands. So, Page of Cups, Page of Wands, fire and water. Definitely see you as sexy. You are seen as sexy, sexually attractive. You're seen as alluring. People see you as a hard worker, I think as a team player. Somebody who's anxious to improve and work on self-development. You might be quite a busy person. Somebody who has lots of things to juggle. You might be fairly spiritual. You might like to dance. You might be drawn to the southeast. In this suit, you've got 3 pentacle cards. In fact, you've got the 3, the 2 and the ace. So the pentacles represent the Khmer civilization in ancient Cambodia. So you might be drawn to Southeast Asia. You might be Southeast Asian, you might have that in your heritage, or you might just simply be drawn to that part of the world. You might be a dancer, you might be very graceful. People see you as nurturing, as somebody who brings emotional fulfillment. So whilst being sexy, you are also, you have this nurturing, guiding quality. And people see you as lucky and abundant, but I think they understand that you've worked very hard for what you have. Okay, that's my general impression. Let me go back through. Your first card is the Prince of Cups. I think here we've got Eros, so erotic love, but cups are emotions. So I thought first of all he was shooting this Cupid, but Cupid's a young boy. It isn't, it's Eros. We've got lots of butterflies on here. So I think people people who are, let's say, sexually, erotically attracted to you would describe an encounter with you as transformational. You're somebody who's not afraid to swim in their emotional depths, and that is supported by the Ten of Cups. Actually, thinking about it, you've got, I talked about you having the 1, 2 and the 3, and you've got the 10 and then the Page. So yeah, people would definitely describe an erotic encounter with you as transformational, or just feeling attracted to you. It doesn't have to be somebody that you've been lovers with or been intimate with, but people would describe you as having a strong erotic pull. And you've got the red roses on here as well, which is romantic love. So, and this huge cup of love. So the Cupid idea, shooting your arrow. So I think anybody that has been involved in a relationship with you would describe that relationship as being transformational. I think they would have discovered something about themselves. They would have swum in the depths. So you are somebody who not only is sexy, you are somebody who is not afraid to wear their heart on the sleeve and to fall in love. You are alluring. You might actually have several people who have been infatuated with you. I think if that's happened, if you tend to draw people in who fall very quickly for you, that's to do with this arrow of love. You have this cup of love, you're very open-hearted. It's not a closed cup. So people will describe you as very emotionally giving and loving, but definitely sexy, because underneath the Prince of Cups, we've got the Prince of Wands. And there's a whole other side to you that people who are romantically, sexually attracted to you will see, as well as the Eros. There's something quite witchy, super alluring, dangerously sexy about you. But I'm reading this way. So, what are your star qualities? You've got the Three of Pentacles. This is a card of collaboration. It's a card of hard work. It's a card of being skilled and having your skills and talents recognised. So people definitely see you as creative, as successful, as being very talented at what you do. You're probably financially stable, and you probably enjoy the work that you do. Even you're passionate about it. This particular card, we've got a young monk. He's a stonemason here, and he's chiseling a design. I think the design is called the Three Jewels of Buddha onto a stone. We've got the Three Pentacles in there. He's chiseling the design onto a stone, which is going to be placed in a monastery. So traditionally the Three of Pentacles, it takes place in a church or a cathedral. We can see stained glass, but we do have an architect. We do see him discussing with two other people. The three here is in those Three Pentacles, which represent body, mind and spirit. So people see you as spiritual, as dedicated to your job. You put your heart and soul into it. I do think people see you as being being capable of working alone, but working for the greater good. So if we take this stonemason, for example, he's working on one block of stone, which will go into a building of many blocks of stone, which will last for thousands and thousands of years. The building has a religious purpose, therefore the work that he puts in shows his devotion and his dedication. And this one stone will be one of many worked on by other people. So people see you as a good team player, somebody who is dedicated, who is hardworking, who is talented, skilled, successful. Then we go on to the Two of Pentacles, and we can see here that this beautiful temple dancer dressed in traditional dress is balanced on, it's a yoni linga. I didn't know such things existed. I only knew a Shiva linga existed. I'll talk about it in a minute, but we can see that she's balancing on something. The seas are quite choppy behind her, so that's two choppy waters. It's a lake actually in here, not a sea. We've got these two beautiful dragon boats behind her, and there are lots of dragonflies, transformation and change on here. You've got beautiful Angkor Wat type buildings, in the background. Okay, so people will see you as a multitasker, somebody who's capable of fulfilling many roles, juggling many things. So this could be work life, home life. It could be multiple tasks, multiple jobs at work. I think people would say you've got many strings to your bow. You are capable of multitasking. Perhaps you're quite busy, so people will see you as a busy person. Possibly you've got two income streams and you're juggling two jobs. You might be juggling two roles, such as parenting and working. But you look good doing it. You are dressed beautifully. You are smiling. You are well poised. Now, the yoni linga. So the Shiva linga is the divine masculine, the yoni, the divine feminine. So the book referred to this as being a yoni linga. So we've got the yin yang type thing here, the balancing of the masculine and the feminine. So I think people, whilst you're juggling, whilst you're busy, people would say that you are well balanced. You exhibit the qualities of the divine masculine and the divine feminine. There's the infinity symbol here. So you might actually be trying to balance walking a spiritual path whilst being successful in the material world. I'm definitely getting, and it's quite intuitive because I've never got it on a Two of Pentacles before, but that you're juggling two income streams, which is not why you might be incredibly busy. And I'm talking about here the body, heart and mind. The body, so the physical, the emotional and the spiritual. Again, those two dragon ships are being tossed and the waters are stormy. You are arising out of the water. Again, a guiding light, a beacon, a star. We've got the dragonflies, this silver. You've got these glittering gold coins making this infinity symbol. There is something this is a star reading, so it's about your star qualities and how you shine to others. But you're elevated above all others here. People notice you. There's something very attractive, something very graceful about you. Like this dancer. You might be a very graceful person. You might have incredibly good posture. You might practice something like yoga or Pilates or some form of dance which is both helps your body move in the physical and the material. It keeps you fit, it keeps you lithe, it keeps you supple. But part of it also tends to you spiritually, like certain types of yoga can do. Then we move on to the sexy, dangerous, alluring you. I just can't stop staring at this. I think it's set. There's something about you that is dangerous, something really alluring. Possibly I talked about with the Prince of Cups, people talking about being hit by Cupid's arrow, people having sort of crushes on you, people becoming, you know, almost love bombing you, falling head over heels for you. You might also attract these fiery kind of, I'm trying to think of a polite way to describe the Prince of Wands. I really don't want to swear. I refrain from it such a lot on this channel. You might have, all right, we'll go with players. That's the night. You might find a lot of players are attracted to you. There's something very much about a moth to a flame, something really alluring about you. Look at the sort of confident, sexy way that Set is drawing you in. You have this snake here about to bite. He has snakes. Again, a symbol of transformation and change and divine feminine energy. And yet he is all male. And I talked about the Yoni Linga and being very balanced in your divine masculine and your divine feminine. So you might find that people of both genders are attracted to you sexually. You may have found that people of both genders have possibly propositioned you. So very alluring, very... see, this is in the daytime and in the sky, and we've got the blues and the emotions. This is much more fiery, it's much more hot. You're definitely very, very alluring. Whether you are showing up and attracting people as the Prince of Cups or as the Prince of Wands. There's almost a, I know Wands are fire signs, but there's almost a scorpionic feeling here of this attraction. I don't think you're interested in this type of person, and you might actually be puzzled as to why people who want a challenge, people who are players, approach you and sort of see you as a conquest. You're dangerous. People don't want to flip around and find out. There's something dangerous and sexy and alluring. and I'm getting that I put a spell on you type energy. People might feel bewitched by you. There we go, I talked about witchy. You might be very bewitching. Got third card to do with sort of your attractiveness. Here you are showing up not as Eros, not as Set, but as a human for once. It's complete emotional fulfillment. You're showing up either as the husband and the father or the mother and the wife, depending on you and your gender. We have a little girl here, a newborn baby, probably given the fact that it's Romans and sons were important, a new baby son. Emotional happiness, all these cups. Again, we've got these red roses type hearts strewn on the path. Husband dropping a loving kiss on mother's head. The girl child is holding the olives, and olive oil was precious, was a luxury. We've got in the background the fertile fields and the country mansion. So people see you as lucky, as emotionally fulfilling, as emotionally fulfilled, somebody who really has it all, okay? People want to celebrate you, want to congratulate you. You've got all of these garlands. We've got two maidens, two nymphs who are giving thanks to the gods for the birth of this child. And as I'm saying that, I'm almost getting a sort of, that people see you as lucky, people see you as blessed. So I was getting, in Sleeping Beauty, when she's born, and all of the fairies come and they give her all these wonderful gifts. I think people see you as having an awful lot of gifts. You know, she's as sexy as hell, she's alluring, but she's a great wife and mother. She's got a beautiful home, she's got a loving husband. Reverse it if you're male. So he has all of these things. He's as hot as, and yet he clearly adores his wife and his children and his family. Beautiful home there, beautiful grounds, beautiful land. You might be a keen gardener, you might like flowers, you probably smell really good. People might notice you and you shine out. You might have a signature scent that people recognise and people find incredibly attractive. And then you have your final card, the Ace of Pentacles. Look at all the gold on here and the green and the pink. Really sacred lotus. Your financial stability is rising out of this water of emotion. This, I want to say that people think you deserve your wealth, your abundance, your fertility. They recognise you as blessed for sure. But I think people like the story of the lotus. It grows down in the mud at the bottom. It emerges, it sits on the lily pad, and then it blooms. You've got stalks, you've got two stalks here, and the baby in the previous card. So if you're a parent, people see you as a good parent. You've got fish on here, goldfish or koi carp. Again, luckiness, 2 storks who build, if a stork builds a nest in the home, it's considered lucky and blessed. There's just so much luck. We've got these beautiful birds of paradise, so people might see you as exotic. All of the gold over the temple. We've got the 2 Buddhas here. We've got the more, I can't remember the name of the god here. The Hindu god, I can't remember, I'm really sorry. I feel like I'm repeating myself. Sexy, alluring, hardworking, blessed, supple, guiding light, sort of trustworthy. Really, you've got it all, pile 1. The only thing I can see possibly is that you might shine too brightly. I don't see any envy or jealousy, but what I possibly see is people developing crushes on you that may be unwanted, or maybe a kind of love bombing, people coming in very, very attracted to your light, but like a moth to a flame, they can't stand the heat. People definitely see you as wifey or husband material. They see you as a keeper. Whilst they're attracted to you, I think once they become emotionally involved with you, with this Prince of Cups and this 10 of Cups being here, very emotionally fulfilling, very abundant, very blessed, pile number 1. That has been your What Are Your Star Qualities reading. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks, pile number 1. Hello, pile number 2 at 32:30. If you chose this star, then this is your reading. Just before I begin, I'd like to talk about subscribers and YouTube algorithms. I don't understand too much about it. I really did go into it quite blind. But there is a tool I can use to look at certain information about my channel. And in the last few readings, a lot more people who are not subscribed than subscribers appear to have been watching. Sort of 60 something percent. If you enjoy these readings, really the easiest way of giving back and showing appreciation and thanks is to subscribe. It's free, it costs you nothing. But every subscription, every like, every share, every comment really does something with the algorithms, which influences the level that my readings will get thrown up, so more new people can stumble across my readings. So if you do like them and you're not already, I'd be really grateful if you would consider subscribing. Thank you. Okay, let's talk about your star. She is incredibly beautiful. We've got this beautiful sort of halo around her, shining out here from her head, and yet the actual star is in her hands, quite covered. And it's almost like this wave is rising up to try and force her to open her hands and to properly radiate. So pile number 2. She's also naked and covering up her upper half. She's got flowers like daisies in her hair. You might be sort of quite innocent. You might actually be fairly shy about shining your light out. That's what I'm getting intuitively before I look at your cards. No. Okay. Okay, interesting, really interesting. You've got 3 major arcana cards here. All right. I think pile 2, you're quite humble. I think you'd be quite surprised at how you shine out in the world and what an inspiration, how inspiring you are to a lot of people. Talking about you holding your star here in your hands, but you shine out regardless. It's almost like your goodness shines out. That's what I'm getting, your goodness shines out. And look, on your first card, you've got the 6 of Inspiration or the 6 of Wands. You've got the star above your head. It is shining out, no matter how much you try to cloak it or hide it. And I'm saying cloak it, and she's got this wrap around her. There are stars all the way around this sort of victory medal on the outside. Stars everywhere. Okay, and you are much bigger than these other tiny figures down below. And the spotlight is on you. It's all about you. Head and shoulders above the rest. You are head and shoulders above the rest. Why? Okay, you might actually be, because there's something quite movie starish about her. I don't know why. I've always thought that, and I've never properly analysed it. You might literally be a film star. Okay, so you might act for a living. You might have a role on a public stage. You might be a public speaker. You might be an artist model. You might be a muse for people. You were born to shine. You were born to stand in the spotlight. And you've got the sun underneath that, the sun and the star. You've got the Ace of Emotions. Okay. Your next card is the Fool. And I'm really drawn when these 2 cards are next to each other to the hair, which is flowing out behind both women, long dark hair. So physically you might be a brunette. And interesting that these 6 figures down here are all sort of white blonde or platinum blonde. There might be something about your looks which is a little bit different from those around you. You might make your living based on your looks in some way. I don't know, hair industry, beauty industry. You've got the Fool. And again, we've got light radiating. And you're walking towards it. She's dressed in white. This one has a brown wrap around her, but her dress is of the softest sort of peach colour. This one has the white daisies in her hair. and something innocent about you, despite you standing out, despite me saying you might be in the spotlight, you might be a model, you might be in the hair, there's something where you don't recognise your beauty, or you don't feel that your beauty is important. You're not conceited. People would not say that you were conceited, although you're in the spotlight. The light is shining on you. It's shining out of you. Okay. People see you as brave, quite a risk taker with the Fool. Somebody who is not afraid to set off on a new adventure. So you might be somebody who takes risks in your life. You might be somebody who will turn your back and walk away on a situation that you feel is no longer serving you. You might be self-employed. Again, this model type thing where you take contracts and you can pick and choose, and you will choose only the projects that you feel the most aligned to. So I think people would say one of your star qualities is that you're daring, you have integrity, there's something very pure, humble, innocent about you. Definitely superstar, star as in star of stage, film, screen. Solo performer until we get to here. It's all solo. Then you've got the Hermit. So I said that you might be quite shy. You might be quite solitary. You might be an introvert. I think people definitely see you as inspiring, uplifting. Every single card has had rays of light. Here, this Hermit, you can see their footsteps as they've walked in this desert, and they are kneeling and the sun is rising. There's lots of, so there's sand on here and a desert. This appears to be sand and a desert. I said something about having this long hair, your looks might be different. You might come from a hot, sandy country, but the Hermit is somebody who is not afraid to go inside and work on self-development, and you may have had a dark night of the soul. You might really have withdrawn from people. I've talked about possibly you're an introvert, and yet you're meant to be in the spotlight and shine. But there's something about you feeling uncomfortable about this, about you feeling naked about this. You have the sun. There's no getting away from it. You are born to shine. Here you are, again, meditating. And we've got people meditating here. So you might be intensely spiritual. It might be, this actually might be a really spiritual pile. It might be a message from the other side, because I'm not getting sort of husband, wife, work colleagues, talking about this film industry thing. But spirit, ancestors, this really might be a strong, how do you shine to others? Might be spirit coming through saying you need to stand up. You need to come out of the darkness and the introspection, and you need to shine out. The sun here is a mandala. It always reminds me of a kaleidoscope, and I used to be fascinated looking at kaleidoscopes when I was a child, and all those beautiful patterns. And years later, when I started looking at mandalas, it reminded me. And I've seen some quotes about kaleidoscopes. They're just broken bits of glass, but they're beautiful, and they make this pattern. The more I look at this reading, the more I think that something might have happened to you that's dulled your shine, but so strongly. Look at the spotlight, and you've got the sun. You are born to shine, pile number 2, to radiate out. Okay, the solar plexus, the colours, the oranges, the yellows, the sandy colours, the oranges, the yellows. I said this was peachy. There's something creative about you. You are meant to be a star and shine out through your creative talents and abilities. People will look up to you. People already do look up to you. You are inspirational. You are brave. I think you've undergone, that's what the long pause, that's I think what I was looking for when I said the dark night of the soul. I think you've undergone some kind of heartbreak or loss, which possibly has changed you and possibly made you become more spiritual. You've got the 4 of inspiration underneath the Fool and the Hermit here. I think there's been a lot of change for you. You've got a lot of big cards. The Hermit is about going inside and doing the inner work. I think you've done that, and it's time for you to come out and radiate. But you really might be an introvert. You might be an empath. You really need, I think, to rest and go within, and I think meditation is going to be important to you to keep you grounded. You might be a spiritual leader, but here, normally this is only 1 on this card, and it is a card of spiritual transformation. But here you are with a group of people. So what I want to say is you feel more able to shine with people, women, that you feel safe and close with, because there are no other people on the card. You're solo, you're on a solo path, you're on a solo journey. The people that you inspire are kind of nameless and faceless people. So you inspire the many, the people that you don't even know whose lives you touch, who look up to you. Just the way a film star might be admired and not have no idea of these nameless, faceless people. But in order to cope with this level of fame or stardom, I think you need to go within a lot. You need to retreat from the outside world, and possibly meditate and be with this safe group of people. You've got the Ace of Emotions. Look at her again. The focus is all on her. This time, she is throwing her head back. She is all of these women are sideways on. They're all in side profile. So's the Hermit. even this star is at an angle. She isn't, and she's where you're going, about being fully seen and meeting people's gaze full on. She is exposing her throat and her body more here, I think. One of your star qualities is your depth of feeling. I think I said the word empath. I was dancing around it by talking about introvert and being shy. One of your star qualities is your empathy and your ability to embrace and swim in your feelings. And that might be why you need to retreat. Why perhaps you find stardom difficult. Let me try and sum up, because this has been a really challenging pile to talk about your star qualities, because you've got all of these major arcana cards. You are brave, you are spiritual, you are inspirational, you shine so brightly and you radiate light and warmth for other people. I think you bring beauty to people's lives simply by existing and being you. There's something very good, there's something very pure about you. I think you are an empath. I think lots of people look up to you, but I'm not getting a husband, I'm not getting a boss, I'm not getting your family. It is on a much bigger platform, and it actually might be quite lonely. Your star qualities might be, it really might be quite a lonely path. Pile number 2. And that's why it is so important to have these people around you who elevate you, because this rock appears to have lifted up through the clouds. They elevate you, but they ground you and they hold you. Pile number 2, I did not expect this. Pile number 1, there were lots of different types of people. There were lots of different sort of physical qualities. There is a physical quality, because I keep talking about this hair and this makeup and this star and this shining out. But there's a very spiritual quality. Pile number 2, if you pick this, I am absolutely fascinated to know who you are, and if you understand what this star quality that you have is. I'd love you to drop me a comment, because I'm absolutely fascinated. Pile number 2, that has been your star quality, how you shine out to others reading. Hello, pile number 3 at 53.15 or something like that. Okay, let's talk about your star. This is probably the most traditional star. She's often pictured near to water, holding water. Dark blue, you've got stars on the dress, stars on your water jar, star around this huge moon here, standing on a little rock, whether you're on the shore and the sea's behind you or you're on a little rock. There's something very thoughtful and pensive and soothing about this star, so possibly about you. People might see you as just very calming, very deep, very truthful, very open and very honest. That's what I'm getting before I turn the cards over. Okay, pile number 3. Just before I begin, I'd like to talk about subscribers. If you're not already, I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe to YouTube, to my channel. It's completely free. I've been looking at my algorithms, and the last couple of readings, more non-subscribers than subscribers have been watching. It costs you nothing, but it's the easiest way to give back to me in the channel. The more people who interact, either by subscribing, liking, sharing, commenting, the more this reading sort of will show up on other people's, random people's feed that might then become attracted to the channel. So if you're not already, I really hope you will consider subscribing. You can tell I'm uncomfortable about doing that, can't you? Okay, star qualities. I talked about you might be quite soothing, peaceful, calming, the blue, and I said quite open. And the minute I knew I'd said something about openness and honest, because I was turning this card over and I saw the open arms and the open wings, and I smiled to myself. Who are you? What are your star qualities? Okay, you've got 2 major arcanas here, quite opposite. Earth and Air, King of Fire. Okay, star quality. Okay, King of Fire, King of Kings, the fieriest, and yet, and the closest to the Emperor, which I think we're picking up with this, the beard. I am drawn to the sun around his head, shining out, the way the star is shining out here. So, Emperor vibes. I think people look up to you. One of your star qualities is that of a leader. People are attracted to you and your wisdom. I think they see you as powerful. I think they see you as a leader, but a really wise leader. Look at the heart there. So I think people would say are attracted to the way that you radiate love. You are a loving, fair leader, but there's something definitely powerful about you. You've got 2 pages, so you might not be there yet, despite the position. But I think I can see you very much as head of a big family. I think all of your family would look up to you and turn to you for advice. I can see you as a CEO. I can see you as having a really important role within your community. There's something about you that elevates you in terms of a leader. The King of Fire is the king that's the closest to the Emperor. And yet he can show up as very fiery and very passionate, but here he's just showing up as radiating love. So a loving ruler, I think, is how people see you. You've got this. This feels very, very earthy to me. I know he's the King of Fire, but there's just something quite Capricorny about the King of Fire here. And you've got the Page of Earth, you've got the 5 of Earth, you've got air, the stars air, you've got Temperance, which is fire, you've got the Capricorn card there, okay, with Temptation. So they're all elements on the board, but for some reason I'm feeling leadership qualities. People see you as a natural leader, and if you are not already very high up in your community, and that might be your work community, in your family community. That's where you will be. People see you as having strong masculine leadership qualities, active. Okay, then you're showing up as the Page of Earth. Okay, people see you, I think, as quite magical. I've talked a lot about this king and wisdom and where you're going, and yet there is still the sort of the playful little imp in you. Again, it's more stability, it's groundedness. I think people see you as very honest, I talked about honest and open up here, and I think it's the only pile I've said it with. And it's coming up again here. I think people trust you to deliver. If you say you're going to do something, you do it. One of your star qualities is that you are reliable. And I think that you bring a little bit of magic to people's lives. There's just a spark of playfulness about you. You are intellectual, you are intelligent. I've talked about wisdom here. I think you are very tapped into your intuition. I think people would say you're quite intuitive. But one of the qualities they look up to you for is your intellect and your wisdom. Your stability, your reliability, your groundedness, your trustworthiness, your open-heartedness. Talked about Capricorn. I'm feeling sort of Taurian. Okay, you are abundant. I think people see you as abundant. And yet I think you've probably experienced times of lack. You've got the Five of Earth or the Five of Pentacles, which is about being left out in the cold. And yet I don't see anything left out in the cold about this. I think you've probably had times in your life where you've been very solitary. But again, there's something magical about this tree nymph. I'm trying to show you her face. I can't see it very well. Hopefully you can. Yeah. There. You are I can't see this as you being left out in the cold. I just see more earthiness. I just see, even in the autumn when the trees are losing their leaves, you've got fertile green growth on you. Okay, so you're fertile. You're fortunate, you're good with money. You're intelligent. You've got a little fox down here. Oh, and a rabbit. I'd not seen either of those before because they're beneath the writing. There's a little fox curled up here. You just see his head. There's a little tiny yellow flower above his head here. And there's a little tiny rabbit in this corner. Okay, so fox, cunning, can use its intellect. You've got a rabbit here. Fertility, luck, abundance. Even when the chips are down, I think people would say, you hold the faith. You're fairly positive. You've always got a little bit set by, you kind of have this faith that you know everything will be okay, and that's reassuring to people around you. Others find that attractive and quite magical, like this sort of dryad, tree nymph creature. But there is an earthiness. I mean, the rabbit is a creature of earth, the fox is a creature of earth, and yet the fox is cunning, it's about intellect, and you've got this page of air here, these huge wings that you are prepared to open. Use your intuition, look up to spirit, but it is the wise, good, king, ruler element of you that people admire the most. The firm person, the person that can take the tough decisions, but can operate from a place of love. The person who's good with money. People, I think, look up to you for your ability to make money, but to save it and to use it wisely. Now, you've got temptation. You've got the devil here. No devil on here. Possibly, this suggests excess. So you may love hard. In the apple that the maiden, green heart energy and green in the forest, has fallen asleep on. She's eaten a heart-shaped bite and then needs to take a rest. She's got these beautiful angel wings over her, as the page of air has. So you are divinely protected. It's this abundance people are drawn to. They see you as really rich. You've got this treasure chest here, you've got all of this gold. You've got the pentacles here. There's something very rich about you. People see you as. What makes you shine? Perhaps people are attracted to you. You might be a little bit too giving at the moment. The wisdom and the love. Just guard against those who are attracted to your, let's say, abundance. And abundance can come in many forms. I do think it comes in terms of wealth, but we've got the devil. This is an apple here. Eve, was tempted to eat the apple from the tree of knowledge by the serpent. People may be attracted to you whose intentions aren't pure. I don't think you're going to have any problem, given how grounded you are, of spotting these people. But whilst you're napping, your treasure box is open. Just guard against people who are attracted to your wealth, who think by hand, I'm not suggesting they're going to steal from you, but hanging on to your coattails might make them look more important, might make their star shine brighter. Yeah, you could be attracted to, people who want to appear more successful than they are, or people who want to emulate you might be attracted to you. Possibly, seems you've got these two heart shapes. Possibly guard your heart from people who are not at the same level as you, feeling that by associating with you or being drawn into your orbit will make them shine brighter. I don't think you've got anything to worry about as you are showing up as the King of Kings. It's just a note of warning, because you do have 2 pages, and pages are sort of the youthful element. And that's why I'm feeling that you might not be at this king level already. And as we're talking about people who might be drawn to taking a bite out of your apple, Miss Persephone's come in and eaten her dinner and is now having a drink. So you might need to exert some patience. And I'm glad I paused and talked about Persephone, and I saw patience at the end in the King of Fire. I've talked about, normally this is where you are now, the first card, and we move along. I think this is where you will end up. When you ground and stabilise and accept that you are a natural leader, you have got authority, you are good with money. This, I think you are very much admired in the workplace. You are very much admired for, I think people can see what you have status-wise, so I think people might admire you for having a nice home. I think your home would probably look impressive. You are destined, I think, to become this. People will see this star, this King of King about you and be drawn to you. I think you're on your way there. You've got a little bit of a device in this pile to watch out for people trying to hitch their wagon to you, to your, whatever the metaphor is. Patience is temperance. Okay, and the star is here, an Aquarian card. She's got her jar just like the water bearer. It's all coming to you. Look, you've got the star quality, the stars are here. She's touching her heart. Time, all in divine timing. All in divine timing. It's all coming to you. Your star quality is that you have leadership abilities, and that's what people see in you. Really CEO, kind of local politics, national even. Head of a household, head of possibly of a large family that everybody looks up to. It's your groundedness, it's your ability, it's you're good with money. You are open-hearted, you are honest. You are intelligent. You rule with your heart. You are incredibly good with money. This keeps coming up. You might work with money. You might be a banker. You might be in finance. You might invest money. You might shine out. You might be the person, you might be in sales. You might be the person that lands the big contract, that gets the big fish in, that negotiates the deal. But people see you as doing so with integrity and honesty. And I think people admire your patience, your steadfastness, your not jumping in. Despite having 2 pages in your reading, you are showing up. Perhaps you exhibit these qualities, these younger qualities. So you have a sense of playfulness. You've not lost your ability to believe in the magic. And yet, I don't think you reveal the page qualities to that many people. I think these 4 cards are how people see you. Somebody who is not impetuous, despite it being the King of Fire. Somebody who is very, very balanced, very pragmatic, very logical. Those are your star qualities. Pile number 3. Brightest of blessings.